Can we talk about Paul Simon? This is bothering me a little bit, and I've seen a lot of buzz about this. This is kind of slowly rolled out here over the last couple of days because Paul announced a farewell show in the UK, and then that was it. And we heard nothing. And then he's now since announced a Homeward Bound farewell tour. So he has expanded on that show that he's going to be doing over in the UK by adding a whole slew of dates in what is being called his farewell performance. Farewell performance in London is July 15th, and he is going to run the tour here in the States till the end of June. Let me read you the letter that Paul Simon gave to all of us, and then I'll tell you what my big problem is, because I got a problem. I had a big fat problem. From Paul Simon. I've often wondered what it would feel like to reach the point where I'd consider bringing my performing career to a natural end. Now I know. It feels a little unsettling, a touch exhilarating, and something of a relief. I love making music. My voice is still strong, and my band is tight. A tight, extraordinary group of gifted musicians. I think about music constantly. Sadly, we lost our lead guitarist and my friend of 30 years, Vincent Ngini, who died last December. His loss is not the only reason I've decided to stop touring, but it is a contributing factor. Mostly, though, I feel the travel and time away from my wife and family takes a toll that detracts from the joy of playing. I'd like to leave with a big thank you to the many folks around the world who have come out to watch me play over the last 50 years. After this coming tour, I anticipate doing the occasional performance in a hopefully acoustically pristine hall and to donate those earnings to various philanthropic organizations, particularly those whose objective is to save the planet ecologically. Once again, I am grateful for a fulfilling career and, of course, most of all, the audiences who heard something in my music that touched their hearts. Paul Simon, New York City, February 5th, 2018. And he signed it. And it's quite a lovely little letter. If you're curious about the tour dates and my big fat problem, Vancouver to start things off on May 16th. He goes to Seattle after that. Portland, Oregon, LA for 2 dates at the Hollywood Bowl. Oakland, Vegas on the 27th, and Denver, Dallas, Houston, Austin, Chicago, St. Paul, Detroit, or Detroit, as my friends in Canada say. Toronto, Montreal, so he says goodbye to Canada, 2 biggest cities there. Boston, Massachusetts, Philadelphia, be celebrating there with the Eagles, I'm sure, June 16th. Greensboro Coliseum in North Carolina on June 19th, and Nashville in Tennessee on June 20th. Did you notice the one thing I didn't say? Where's my New York date? Paul Simon leaving on a farewell tour and not playing New York City? What the hell is going on? I'm offended. I'm hurt and offended. First of all, Paul, I think he lives in Connecticut, right? No Connecticut date. And he's from here, New York, all the great things in New York. The damn letter's from New York. The damn letter signed Paul Simon, New York City, February 5th. The hell, Paul Simon? Got a big bone to pick with you. I better not see you on the streets today. It'll be a rumble. I'll show you the boxer. So stupid. A lot of people speculating a whole bunch of things. One is that he is going to announce a New York date, which I would assume I would err on the side of that too. I don't think there's any way possible he does this farewell thing without doing a New York date. Two, people are speculating he'll do Forest Hills Stadium, which makes a whole slew of sense, judging by his connection to Forest Hills Stadium and Forest Hills. That makes a lot of sense to me. Other people speculating, that maybe he'll do a final free concert in Central Park. That makes a whole heck of a lot of sense to me as well. Why they're holding back on an announce for New York, I don't know if they even are. I mean, maybe they're not. Can you honestly believe, and I'd love to know in comments and phones and everything. I would love to know, can you honestly believe that Paul Simon would go out and not do a show in New York? I mean, I just find that to be impossible. What I honestly think is, and I don't know that this would happen, I think a show in Central Park would be killer. I think that would be amazing. I also think that Paul Simon has the ability to do every venue in the area. Like, to me, that would be something. That would be on par with where this guy's career is after all these years. If you're Paul Simon, wouldn't that be cool as a farewell to New York? Like, it'd be crazy to do that Central Park show one more time, right? But you kind of already did that. If you're asking me what I'd like to see, how does Paul Simon say goodbye to New York? Go play the Rock. Go play Madison Square Garden. Go play the Barclays. Go play, the Coliseum. Like, that would be the thing for me. Go play every one of them. Go play every one of them. Go play every arena. Boom. One right after the other. Or one every other night. Boom, boom, boom. To me, that's how you say goodbye. Say goodbye to all of us. Because we all came around and saw you a whole bunch of times. About time you come back around and see all of us. That's what I'm talking about, Paul Simon. For me, it's more the cool factor of Paul Simon is going to play every venue in the city. And you know what would be awesome too? Like, go play Terminal 5. Let's do a bunch of places in this. Go play BB King's. Go play Terminal 5. Like, go for it. Like, do all the fun stuff you've always wanted to do. Go do 20,000 in Madison Square Garden, and then the next night go do 1,500 at City Winery or something like that. Like, that would be the thing for me. Like, that's how you say goodbye. Do a venue of every size and do all the venues. I think they would all sell out. If this is really it for Paul Simon, I think they all sell out without a problem. EHM, this is Amp.
Anthony, Fred from Stony Brook. How are you?
Good, Fred. How's it going, man?
Good. Listen, weighing in on Paul Simon. I've seen him twice, once at Forest Hills in 1970, and then I was at the Central Park show. I believe that he should do Central Park as his last show, and maybe for the last set, bring on his estranged partner, Art Garfunkel. I think the place would just go crazy.
Boy, I wonder if he would do that. You think he would?
You know something? How can he not? I mean, Simon and Garfunkel back even in the 60s, like 67, 68. I remember analyzing their music in English class. So they were, he was the poet, Garfunkel was the voice. I really believe that he should go out in blazes in Central Park and definitely bring back Art Garfunkel, no matter what their, beefs are between each other. And that is my professional opinion.
I know, it would be so great, but the only thing is I can't help but think that it would take the attention off of solely him. And I think for that reason, he might not do it. But we would all love to see it, though, right?
Yes, as fans, I think. But something, if, like you said, he's giving back to us, I think the fans would like to see them reunited for a few songs at the very end. That's sentimental on my part.
No, I hear you, man. I hear you. So Fred's official vote is for Central Park and a reunion.
And the reunion.
I love it, man.
Did I win tickets?
Could you imagine what that lottery is going to be if that's a free show? Oh, my goodness. Back
in Central Park when I was there, I think in late 70s it was, it turned out to be a free show. They couldn't keep the people away from the fences. And I made it all the way up the front of the stage. I worked my way, and I'm a good worker when it comes to crowded concerts. I was right in front of the stage, and it was just fabulous.
You should have yelled back then. You better play your final show here. That's what you should have yelled.
That's it, yep.
Yeah.
Listen, you have a great day. Keep up the good work.
Thanks, Fred.
You take care. Bye-bye.
I don't know. I like the idea of Central Park. I do, but I like the idea of this bigger thing, especially in the era of, residencies in Vegas and what Billy Joel is doing at Madison Square Garden, selling out every show for a month. I think it would be amazing if Paul turned around and said, well, I think I can sell out every venue in the area as my goodbye. And to me, that's an amazing tip of the cap. I can't argue with Fred or any of you guys who feel like it should be Central Park. It totally makes sense. But for me, he's been there already. The bigger thing to say goodbye, do all the venues. Do all the venues. I think that would be something really special. But I'd be happy with either one of them over the alternative of what we have at the time of this taping, which is nothing for New York. Bupkis, a big fat. So let me know in the comments below what you think about Paul Simon and how he should say farewell